So the boys heading off on the warm-up lap. It will be a 12-lap journey. Nick Rowe, front row, alongside Jimmy Vernon. And that is a pretty star-studded front row, actually. Lewis Leeds and Harry Hayek did a good job yesterday. Hayek just stayed out of trouble and came third. Randall Lloyd, the fast guys, out of row 3. And Will Brown, after that unfortunate DNF, will have to start off the back of the grid. Now, Cameron, the boys have been eagerly trying to get some heat into those Hankook tyres. And I heard that Tom Gretsch may have pushed the Barrow a little bit too hard out there. Here he is in car 15, swinging through the frame. Obviously, it's a bit of a task getting some heat into the tyres, and you need to swerve back and forward. But, Cam, you don't want to do this.
No, so he's just out of shot there, you'll see. And look at that, a little 360 on the formation lap to the grid. So, look, happens to the best of us. I've done it once. I think everyone does it once, Chad, going to the grid. So, look, fortunately, because it was only the out lap to the grid, he can go back to his grid spot, which is P7 for Tom Gretsch there in the IQ option entry. Beautifully turned out McGale Formula 4. So this is the reverse top 6 from yesterday. So we'll see the two quick guys, Thomas Lloyd and Jordan Lloyd and Thomas Randall out of P5, P6. But there's some quick guys on the front row there. Nicholas Rowe from Karratha, WA. Nick was second overall at round 1 at Townsville, so he needs to put his head down and get a jump on the field.
A couple of onboards to watch out for, including this young man, Lewis Leeds from Dream Motorsport. Part of a 2-car operation out of Melbourne, and look at him working that steering wheel, trying to get some heat into those rear tyres. And also Drew Ridge, who's only made the step out of karts very recently, driving for the Brian Hilton Motor Group out of Sydney. But he, driving for BRM, is actually a driver from Central Coast. Yep. So, interesting little matchup, this one on the front row. You've got Nick Rowe, a guy who does a whole bunch of different racing, including speedway. He's actually the grandson of multiple, I think, WA speed car champion John Fenton. So he's got the bloodline there. And then you've got Jimmy Vernon having a chat to his dad John before this race, and he was so disappointed with getting turned around in race 2. Didn't point the finger at anyone, didn't blame anyone, held himself in the interview, didn't drop the lip, and it will definitely inspire him to get the result today, though.
For sure, it's a great looking car too, and he's jumped on board this championship. John and Jimmy Vernon, the Tool Force car there. They came on board right from the start of the announcement of this championship, on board for the whole season, so it'd be great to see him get a good result. Green flag at the back, set for a start, 12 laps.
Reverse grid race 2, Cams, Jayco, Formula 4. The fast guys out of row 3, but this should be exciting between the guys on the front. Nick Rowe lights him up, and I think he may have just done enough to get the start line advantage, although Vernon's going with him. How brave will he be on cold Hankook tyres to go around the outside? Great start, Jordan Lloyd. He's already up to 3rd. Or Ridge was sticking his nose in there. I think they all make it through. Vernon's had a poor start. He's been relegated back a few spots. Lewis leads into 2nd. Great start from Lewis. And Randall's picking up a couple. Oh, they're fanning out down the back straight. Randall's the man closest to the inside. Side by side with Vernon, those two made contact at the last round, and Gretsch is going to go deep and long, right around the outside, maybe a bit too far. Manages to just keep it on. Exciting first lap so far, but Lloyd is the man. Cameron is really lurking.
How's that?
Got from 6th to 2nd in the first corner.
What a start. We saw him get off the front row yesterday exceptionally well, but from P6 to P2, not easy to do through turn 1 and turn 2, where it's particularly turn 1, a one-line corner. Well, someone there getting a lot of curb. I think that might have been Jordan Love getting the car airborne there at car 79, so being shuffled back. It's on at the back part of the field here.
Zane Goddard with an aggressive move on his own teammate there. Frankie Maiolo saw him coming, though. And look at this, Rose defending down the front straight. He's got Jordan Lloyd right in behind his gearbox. Lloyd was thinking about a move around the outside. Now, he's actually ruined his own momentum, and it's stacked up the two Dream Motorsport teammates in the process. This is all going to come to a big head down the end of this back straight. Look at them all in the slipstream. The West Aussie, who started on the front row, defends to the inside. Jordan Lloyd with a great run around the outside, and the BRM car laid on the brakes and gets the inside sit. He's done nicely. Leeds will go with him, and the leader has been relegated to 3rd.
Great vision this. On the onboard with Lewis Leeds. Look at Thomas Randall does the switchback. He's going to go right around the outside, which is a tricky one there. Nick Rowe, now he's up on the inside and he gets through. So Rowe's lost 3 spots just in that lap. You can see the slipstream down the back straight there. So Jordan Lloyd managed to pull out of that very well.
Here goes Vernon now. And Rowe still sticking to the inside line, desperate to hang on to whatever positions he can here. Oh, he didn't quite give Vernon enough on the outside. And Vernon will lose a couple spots by running wide. That picks up a spot or 2 for Will Brown and also Jordan Love. But Jordan Lloyd looking good. Randall got a great exit at 1. He might pick up his teammate down the back straight as a result if he gets a good exit at 2. They're having at it, the Formula 4 boys. Gretsch runs wide. That'll ruin his exit. Oh, he has a big tank slapper too, and Harry Hayek will pick him up. Hayek to the inside of the 26. AGI versus BRM under braking. Gretsch is bold under brakes, but he couldn't get it done there. Whee, up wide goes Zane Goddard. Dusty Hancock tyres for him. He comes back on. Gretsch and Hayek still doing battle.
So Gretsch been trying a lot of outside moves, Chad, down the end there. There's clearly not a lot of grip offline at turn 3, so he might have to rethink his strategy. Certainly getting off turn 2 quite well, but just not quite making it stick on the outside. So far, great job by young Lewis Leeds, just 15 years of age, car 96, doing mixing his racing this year with a bit of Formula Ford and now Formula 4.
I saw him as we ride on board with him right now, Lewis Leeds. I saw him in the pits before the start of this race, working on his reactions. They were throwing a folded up t-shirt to him. It was like doing slips practice before a game of cricket. He was getting himself psyched up, working on those quick hands, and he's going to be looking in his mirrors here because his teammate will size him up at the end of the back straight.
And you think he won't be defensive here. He should, although he's gone in very deep. No, so he lets Thomas Randall through. And he'll slot in behind him. But good to see. Smart move. Tom should be slightly quicker, more experienced, and he can latch on behind the gearbox of that McGill Formula 4. Braked a little bit early there, so he didn't run up the teammate. But interesting you say about the reflexes. That's something that Lewis has come through our Elite Driver Academy. That's something we teach there. It's a bit like an athlete having a warm-up, running laps, or footballers when you watch their warm-up drills. Racing drivers need to be on, they need to be focused, they need to work on their reflexes, so we teach them some of those skills. Throwing a tennis ball around before you get in the car, anything that just sharpens up those reaction times a little bit.
There you go, he listened.
He is, he's doing a great job. Very fit too, young driver. Takes his fitness and his nutrition very seriously. So here's Will Brown, car 99, that's Cars Galore entries, come from the very rear of the grid up into P7 already. So unfortunately a gearbox relay came loose on that car yesterday, so it got stuck in 5th gear. Just popped off just a little electronic sensor that when he hit a bump just dislodged itself, and no gears. So good comeback so far. Speaking of comebacks, Vernon, who was squeezed off the road by Nick Rowe there, lost out. Unfortunate that he probably wasn't given a lot of racing room coming off the corner there, and he's making his way back through.
Yeah, he started off the front row and unfortunately couldn't quite hang on to it. It was a busy start to the race, but car 94, Jordan Lloyd, has managed to sneak his way forward, and Randall, who finished second behind him, is actually setting the fastest lap on this race, of the race on this lap here. So he's 3/10 up to the first 2 sectors. He's having a go. This is how it all happened from the very start of the race. Rowe, a good initial bite there, but look out for car 94. Picked up his teammate Harry Hayek early, just burst through the pack. And he even got inside Vernon. That was a cracking start.
It just holes opened up for him, didn't it? It was like Vernon went to the outside, but then he got stuck on the outside. This is a replay with Drew Ridge. He got a little bit of wheel spin, but nice drive. The Brian Hilton Sydney Motorsport Group on board.
Riding on board with Ridge.
Oh, that was close. He lost out there big time.